Hello. So this is going to be a basic tutorial on Harvestman Save the Homeland speedrunning slash kind of just playing the game normally. Um, where everything is, basics of the affection system, and cutscenes for all the endings. So we will start with some basics. Let me find. Okay. So I'm playing on the Japanese version because all my save states are in Japanese, so I apologize for that. Currently, the leaderboards, I want to emphasize, the leaderboards currently are split. A lot of the games actually were split this summer, so you can compete in English or Japanese. So I would encourage people, if you have an English copy of this game, we have English-only leaderboards. I did a number of runs on the English version before I got the Japanese version. Japanese version is stupidly inaccessible because you got to get a Japanese PS2, I suppose, unless you're some kind of tech wizard and you can find a way to, jailbreak your English PS2. So don't bother if you have an English copy. Just play on English. Emulator runs pretty inconsistently, so that is why we have emulators hidden by default. That doesn't mean that you can't run on emulator, but it just means that for purposes of the leaderboards, we try to emphasize, or we try to encourage people to run on console. And personally, I struggle to play emulator. It is a bit, the slowdown in certain areas is a bit jarring. So play on console if you can. But anyway, so this will be English, or this will be Japanese, but in English it's the same. So first I want to point out an interesting aspect of this. So this is the opening cutscene of the game, where the goddess appears to tell you that you need to save the village, and she's going to ask you 3 questions. And if you notice here, so here on the right side I'll have Cheat Engine, and this is a very useful program. You should download it and use it. I believe we have some tutorial somewhere else showing how to use it. It might be archived somewhere. I think demo did I can't remember. Somebody has a Twitch VOD. But regardless, I have all the addresses for all the characters' affections. So you see Gina, Bob, Tim, Wallace, Woody, blah, blah, blah. These are all the villagers. And this value here is their affection all the way on the right. And currently they're all at 0 because at this point in the game, this is a fresh file. So this is a clean file. This is not a New Game Plus file. And so this opening cutscene will play when you start a brand new file. And she'll ask you these questions. So here she says, if you find a dog in the rain, what would you do? And for all of these, the top response is going to be a positive. In my notes, what I call a positive response. And the second option is going to be what I call a negative response. So you can see that we'll answer. The top response is pick him up and take him home, instead of the bottom response, which is ignore the dog. Okay. Second question is, you see some garbage, some trash on the ground. What do you do? Pick it up and take it, or pretend you didn't see it? So we'll do another positive response. The last one is, you see some money on the ground. What do you do? Return it or take it? So the top response is, again, positive, and second response is negative. So we will say positive again. You want to pay attention to, I don't remember where it happens. Actually, wait, so we have to rush through this. Okay, yeah, okay. So we're just going to speed up to get through here. So we'll just show this. This is the rest of the cutscene. Blah, blah, blah. Name your farm. Oh, crucially too, so this cutscene is a bit longer than even this, but for whatever reason you can actually skip the rest of this cutscene. So after you name your farm, there's actually more dialogue, but after you name the farm, you can immediately just skip it. Okay, so pay attention. You can see that now Dia, Bob, Knack, Kurt, and Lewis are all now plus 15. So that is due to the goddess questions. So I'll show that again. So that's due to the goddess questions, and we answered positively. So these are all in my notes. I've shared all my notes. I'm hoping this video will encourage people, and I'll link all my notes in the description, but I'm hoping this video will encourage people to now kind of review the notes if they're interested in playing, or just, in running, or just learning how to play, get through the game. But so most of the villagers respond to some pattern of responses to these questions. The exceptions, I should actually pull them up. Let me actually see the exceptions. The exceptions are characters that you don't really use in any of the endings, in the sense that they're not required to befriend for any of the endings. So the unaffected characters are Wallace, Woody, Ronald, Parsley, and Martha. Parsley, Martha, and Woody are required to befriend for the treasure hunt endings, but Wallace and Ronald are literally, you never need to talk to them for any other required cutscenes. So anyway, so basically the patterns are either all positive, all negative, or some mixture of positive and negative. I call it a mixed response. And in that response, you can just, for speedrun purposes, of course, the cursor starts on the top response. So because a mixed response is any combination, it means that you can answer positive, positive, and then negative to one of them. It doesn't matter which one you answer negative to, but that just is the lowest, or the smallest number of inputs. So, we can do positive, positive. No, damn it. Of course. I don't know why mine. You can do positive, positive, and negative. And another thing to note is the fastest way to mash text in this game is really annoying. It's not that hard on your thumb, but it is just hard to do optimally. And that is, well, here, I'll explain that in a minute. Okay, skip this. Okay, so you can see for the mixed response, stop that. Those affected are Lila, Gwen, Tim, Flack. Is that it? Yeah, Lila, Gwen, Tim, Flack. Yeah, okay. So it's 4. So so negative and mixed there's 4 of them. And then positive, for some reason, there's 5. So negative is Katie, Gina, Nick, and Joe. So I won't do that, but that's so if you're curious. So then, okay, we'll get to the text in a minute. But so crucially, in the any percent runs, where you're just completing the one ending, usually there's one villager that you need to befriend the most. So it's fastest to answer in the combination that will give them a +15. So as an example, in cake contest, actually it's very convenient. In cake contest, you need to befriend Gina, and we'll get to the endings in another video, but you need to befriend Katie and Gina, for example, both of them, and which is kind of odd, but Gina is actually required for you to get her to like +10 or something for the first cutscene, even though she doesn't appear in the first cutscene. And you can do this for free by answering negatively. So that means second response, second response, second response, all 3 to get the negative. And Katie also gets a +15 there, and Katie is the one that you need to befriend the most. In fact, she's the only other one that you need to befriend for that ending. So that's the fastest. So we take advantage of that in 80%, and it's just useful to be aware of if you're playing the game casually. Okay. So now we can kind of, I guess I'll just sort of walk through this, but when you walk out the door the first day, you're gonna get this cutscene, and you can just hold start. So most cutscenes that happen because you're entering an area usually to load a cutscene, and the screen fades to black when you enter that area. Most of the time, you can just hold start during that transition. So when the screen goes black to enter the area, you just hold start. Now, how do you know that you got the cutscene? This is where it gets a bit dicey, because a lot of the cutscenes skip immediately, so they don't even show up at all. Like, they don't even begin. So the way you can tell is that the music stops. Oftentimes. Another way that you would know is, well, here, I'll actually just do the farm first. Screw it. Another way that you would know is that the loading, is that black screen transition is longer. So I can show an example in a minute. But okay. So the dog here is not your dog. You have to feed the dog in order to get him. So you need to, and we don't understand how the dog works, just FYI. Kind of disclaimer. So you need to fill the dog's bowl multiple times, like anywhere from, it seems like 17 to 20 plus times. And I've had varying results. The food also has to be an actual food item, even though when you have the dog, putting a weed or a flower in the bowl will sustain him, meaning it will keep him from getting sick and dying. When you're in the process of obtaining the dog, you need to use actual food items. So that means, as far as forageable goes, and we'll get into forageables, that means like berries, blueberries, cranberries, just the actual, herbs, the actual food items, or things that you yourself as the player can eat to reduce fatigue or increase, or replenish stamina. Okay, so anyway, so this is your farm. So house, dog bowl, watering well, whatever. So you fill watering can there. Chicken coop. Chicken coop is relevant to cake contest. So a lot of these buildings you won't be using in many of the endings, but you will here and there. So chicken coop is used for the cake contest ending because you need to get a golden egg. Barn. So in the barn you can hold, I believe, 5 cows, and then the horse always goes here. So it is crucial though that you put the fodder in the trough to the corresponding animal. So you can't just put the food in whatever trough. And in fact, in a chicken coop, and the reason I say that is because in a speed run you're gonna be getting 1 cow and 1 chicken. And of course 1 horse. You actually can only have 1 horse, unlike like Magical Melody where you can have more than 1 horse. So for example, if you get the cow, it's gonna go here in this one, and if you put the food in this trough, the cow will not eat it and it will get sick and die. And with the chicken, you have to put the chicken feed in the leftmost bin, or else it will die, or else it won't eat it. Okay, so that's the barn. Another weird one, I did not know this for the longest time. The sprite's house is right here. So you can just come here, and they should be in here. Maybe they're not. Okay, it doesn't matter, but yeah. So normally it's actually, yeah, their little seats are colored the same as their colors. So Nick will be here in red, Knack will be here in blue, and Flack will be here in yellow. We do come here in Endangered Weasel. That's the one ending that you need to befriend the sprites. So, and this is one of the most convenient locations because their house is literally on your farm. So it's just to the right of the barn. Of course, you have a field. You start with a field, so this is a lot like A Wonderful Life in the sense that you don't have to plant grass. And you start with all your tools. So you always start with 2 potato seeds. And then your watering can is actually broken. You can hold, I think, 99 squares. So one of the things they did in this game is they really tried to relieve your need to focus on farming or ranching or any of that. But they really, I mean, of course that's in the game and you can do it as much as you want, but really they tried to make it as easy as possible, so you didn't have to waste time on these farming and ranching, so you could focus on befriending the villagers, because that's ultimately how you get through the game. So there's not any upgrades for these. There's no upgrade for the hoe or the watering can. There is an upgrade for the sickle, but we never get it in the speedrun. Crucially, some really weird aspect to this game is if you buy an upgrade to the sickle, which is kind of expensive, and then you complete an ending, you actually lose the upgraded sickle, because in a New Game Plus scenario where you complete an ending, actually even if you don't complete an ending, you get through the year and you go to the next year, everyone's affection is reset. It's as if you went in a time warp and you went all the way back to the beginning of the year and you do it over again, right? And there's 9 alternate endings, but it's ultimately the same 1 year period that you're playing through. It's just, excuse me, they're just all alternate timelines, right? Alternate endings. So you actually lose the sickle upgrade, so it's a bit annoying. And so I don't know, in a casual setting, if I had, would I keep getting the sickle upgrade? Not really worth it. Interesting to note is that you need to, what button is it? Okay, yeah. You actually need to cut 3 in order to get 1 fodder. And I didn't point it out, but your fodder is right here. So I just cut 3. This is 1 fodder, but now it's empty. So you can see on the right there, it says 0 fodder. Yeah. So you need to cut 3 patches of grass for 1 fodder, which I'm not really sure why they did that. That's a bit strange. Anyway, so this dog is just wild. I didn't point this out, but after you've filled the bowl a number of times, the dogs appear randomly in a few different screens on the map, and then you can just pick them up, and the game will ask you, do you want this dog? Okay, so we'll go around the map. What time is it? Okay, good. Yeah, okay. So unfortunately, you can't really tell the days of the week. I'll get into that a little bit too, but we'll just go with the map. So of course, that's your farm. There's no other exit to your farm, so this will always lead into this screen. This is Ronald's supermarket. Hello. Closed on Sundays, so keep that in mind. Open 8 to 6. You almost never go here. They did another weird thing in this game where you can actually sell your, like, there's no shipping bin, so you have to sell your crops and various other things to various shops, but you can sell them at multiple places, so you don't just have to go to one spot, which is actually kind of convenient. So they did there's a few quality of life things here. Most of the things you buy here, these are actually food items. So I'll just read them: rice ball, sandwich, soft bread, honey, cheese, and then milk, eggs. So you can actually buy small milk and small egg. Now, can you buy from here too? I don't even know what this is. Okay, this just says go to the counter. Okay. So some of these items can actually be useful as gifts. I have an entire gift chart for every villager. Now, I will give a disclaimer. The game's affection system is just ridiculous, and there's a lot of variation to the boost that you get from certain gifts depending on the situation. I have documented pretty much the default, which is not the villager's birthday. No cutscenes. Certain endings appear to, if you're at a certain point in one of the storylines, it appears to affect certain gifts. And I can only give one example of that. I'll get into that in the relevant video, but so I have a whole gift chart. So if you're curious, you can look at all that. I'll link those in the description. Okay, this is Tim. He's just chilling. So that's just a garden. Ronald, like I said, that's Ronald's shop. This is this is weird. These are just flavor buildings. This is a well, doesn't do anything. And then this is Ronald's chicken coop, I believe. So you can go in here, but this is just his chicken coop. So he'll sometimes come in here. Ronald, you don't really ever need to talk to, and I don't know. So I'm sure that there's actually cutscenes that there's a lot of cutscenes that aren't related to any endings. So for you casuals who are watching this video, definitely explore the whole game. I'd love to explore the game more. and befriend Ronald or Wallace, and I'm sure there are flavor cutscenes with them, but I need to, that's one of those things, the game needs more exploring and documenting, so feel free to do that. Anyway, so when you come out of your farm, or whenever you come down here, the farm is always to the right, because the main place that you'll be going is either, the main two paths is either this way to the Carpenters or this way to the villa, so up that hill by Tim to the villa. So first we'll go this way to the Carpenter. So the next screen is going to be the Carpenter screen. This is where most of your foraging is most convenient because it's right next to your farm. So you can just walk out of your farm and walk right here. And this is all the main kind of foraging patch. Now, crucially, I'll point out, this is another divergence from traditional Harvest Moon games. Usually in Harvest Moon games, as Harvest Moon 64, for example, since a lot of our players play that, you have like a couple forageables. They always appear in the same spot every single day in a given season, and it doesn't matter whether you pick them or you don't pick them, it doesn't matter, right? However, in this game, it's a bit random, and so actually in speedruns, sometimes, in any percent speedruns, you may reset sometimes, excuse me, over bad forageable luck. So this is actually pretty good luck. So this is the first day, this is Tuesday the 2nd, and we have 4 very berries, an herb, and a medicinal herb. So the red one is a medicinal herb, the green one is a regular herb. The very berries will always grow back. So if I pick some of these very berries, they then have to grow back. And they grow back in kind of a random pattern. But so, you know, if I don't pick these very berries now, they're going to remain in the position that they are. And only once I pick them will they start to grow back. And they grow back over a period of days. And I actually haven't tested this very much yet. But I believe the number of days is random to a degree. Like how quickly they grow back is a bit random. It's pretty forgiving. I mean, it's not like, they're not like really unavailable or anything like that. So it's just another kind of change they made in this game. However, for the herbs will appear instantly on any given day, and they appear in certain locations. So this is, for example, this happens to be a spot where an herb can grow. There are other spots. This is a spot behind Kurt. So this is where Kurt normally stands in the morning. Here's an herb. These are moondrop flowers. You know, a lot of these are common Harvest Moon items, but that's a spot for an herb. An herb can be here. Now, if an herb isn't there, a weed might grow. And a weed, I'll see if I can show you a weed. Anyway, so this is the, point this out. This is the Carpenter's area. Woody in the morning on the morning, except for Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you go in here, actually, if I go in here now, okay, it's locked. What time is it? Okay, 2 p.m. If you go in here on any day except Tuesday and Thursday, Gwen and Woody will be in there, and that's the easiest place to get to Gwen. So in the Endangered Weasel ending, for example, that's where we go. So we go there on every day except Tuesday and Thursday, and Gwen is in there at the table. Joe is sometimes in there, but not always. And then Kurt actually stays up here. Kurt lives in this little shed. I don't know if he's in here right now, but not. Okay, but Kurt will be here. Okay, so that's Kurt. This door, back door. Okay, it says you can't go through here. Okay. And then this looks like an outhouse, but I've never gone in here. Toilet. Okay, he says I don't really have to go. Okay. Anyway, so you don't really need to go up here, but yeah, so that's where you can find Kurt if you're, so let's say you're playing casually. Okay, we're kind of running out of time here, but so I'll probably just, yeah, okay. So this is the lake area. This is Joe. A lot of times he'll be fishing. I'll see if I can go in here. Here's other places for herbs. This is a weed. So this looks like maybe like an herb from far away, but it's a weed. And I'll get into uses for weeds later, but that's a weed. This is the cafe / bar. So until 5 p.m. It opens at noon, goes until 5, and you can find various NPCs here later in the day. Bob, Parsley, Katie's usually here. And when she's not in the morning, she starts outside this area, but at about 10, I believe, 10 to 10:15, she heads inside here. And then unfortunately she becomes unavailable until noon. And then on Mondays, this place is closed, so I should point out the closed days as well. This is Wallace. He's not really, like I said, he's one of those NPCs that is not affected by the goddess questions, and also does not, you don't need him for any ending in particular. So yeah, then at 6 p.m. this becomes the bar, and then Katie goes to her room, which also a lot of people don't know about. Yeah, so anyway, so this is the closed on Mondays, so her room is here. I think this is locked right now. Maybe we can come back and check it out, but you don't need to know that for a speedrun. That's kind of... But I did not know that she had a bedroom on the side of the building that you could go in until like 2 years after playing the game. Okay, so I'm gonna go in here. I'm holding start. Actually, wait, I won't hold. I already skipped it. Shit. Okay, that's fine. Excuse me. Doesn't matter. I was gonna try and show the difference between the loading time. So every time, this is kind of annoying, just to be aware, every single time that you enter this area for the first time in a given year, it will play an introductory cutscene with the goddess. So there's a couple endings, Odger Swallowtail, couple endings where you need to go here to obtain the Moondrop Dew, which is kind of a key item for a couple endings, cake contest. Endangered Weasel, you don't need Moondrop Dew, but you do come here a couple times. What's the other one that you need Moondrop Dew for? I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, you'll come here, and you'll need to skip the cutscene. And even in New Game Plus, actually. So even if you're literally any year that you haven't been here yet, it will play the cutscene. So you just walk in and you hold start. So that's all I did. You can do some foraging here. This is where you would plant. I'll do this. I may do individual ending videos. This is where you would plant the blue mist. So you have to actually till that square, plant it, and water it. But you can do various foraging here. Some forageables will appear here out of season, I don't want to say out of season because obviously the game lets it happen, but for example, I think cranberries tend to be associated with fall or winter, but I think they appear here early. I can't remember off the top of my head. You don't usually do foraging there because it's pretty slow. Okay, so we'll just... Here's Gwen. Welcome back. As far as schedules go, I can give you information on where a villager appears right early in the morning, and a little bit after that. But for the most part, I haven't exhaustively documented the schedules. I have done some, but there's some variation, of course, and most of it's not random, but there are a couple of cases. So okay, so we'll sleep. So yeah, so the first option. Sorry, so. This is your diary. So in order to save or go to sleep, you have to click diary. Top option is save and sleep. Second option is sleep without saving. So of course, in a speed run, we tend to sleep without saving. So that means that you'll go A, down A, right? And the bottom option is cancel. So here is your kind of your farm, achievement screen, whatever. You have money at the top, cows, cows, chicken, dog, horse. And then your endings will actually appear. You can see this little right here where the pointer is now. So there's a little stamp for every ending, and it will appear here. And there's 9 endings. This is actually the number of fish you've caught, and then what is this? Oh, then this is your power berry count. So there's 4 or 5 power berries. I can't remember where all the power berries are. I'm not gonna be documenting everything, I guess, but we'll just go through it. Okay. TV. There's only 3 channels: weather channel, kind of flavor channel, and then this is actually the fortune channel. I can't remember. I actually memorized all the Japanese zodiac signs recently because I was trying to test the Zodiac channel or the horoscope channel, and I have no idea if it affects anything. I can't figure it out. So maybe one of you guys can figure it out. This is your calendar, and so maybe I'll explain this a little bit now. It's kind of worth going into before I get into the rest of the. Hello. Okay. So as you can see, calendar. Crucially, no festivals in this game. So this is, you know, they really wanted to open up your time to just befriend the villagers. All the events, anything that you participate in, is tied to the various ending-based cutscenes. But you can see that the dates are different colors. So the game has an interesting an interesting weather system where the climate changes depending on where you are in the season. Now, since it's a 1-year plot, and every year you play through the exact same year, that means all the dates, all the days of the week will always be the exact same. So that's very important, because if you need to check the date, you have to pause the game, which is kind of slow. So from a speedrun perspective, it's actually fastest. Unfortunately, there is no HUD. So there's nothing on the screen telling you what the date is, what the time is, so you need to know. So if in a speedrun, you have to memorize the dates, and you have to keep track of what day it is if you want to move as quickly as possible. So this tells you spring 3rd, Wednesday, 6 a.m. And this is the little red face, that's your stamina status, basically. Top is regular items. You have a huge inventory, by the way. This is basically AWL inventory, which is great. You can have as many as 99 of any item stacked, so you don't need to worry about your inventory, so they kind of made that easy for you as well. This is tools, and then key items. Key items will be things like the blue mist seed, and that when you get that ending. Anyway, just wanted to point that out. But yeah, so you can see yellow is mild season, blue is rainy season, red is dry season. So, and honestly, I don't really know what the odds are, but if we're speaking roughly just from my experience, seems like the odds in the mild season to rain. Mild season will always screw you over when you least expect it, and you get like 3 days of rain in a row or something like that. So yeah, so maybe it's like 40% to rain or something. I don't know. But in the rainy season, so these 5 days, 17th through the 21st, it's probably anywhere from 80 to 90% guaranteed to rain. It may not rain, so it's possible that it won't, which is unfortunate because some of the endings actually take advantage of the rainy season, and we kind of time it so that we plant certain things right before the rainy season in order to take advantage of that, and then all of a sudden you'll get a day without rain. Bad luck, but it is very, very high odds to get rain. Now the dry season is different because it is guaranteed you will get no rain. Now that doesn't mean that it'll be the same weather the whole time. There's 4 weather conditions. Fair, which is kind of sunny with some clouds, and you can see from the sky. Actually, let's see what the weather is today. So today's cloudy. Yep, cloudy. So fair, which is kind of sunny, and you'll see, you know, some kind of puffy clouds. Cloudy, which is the way it is today. Rain, and heavy rain. You can tell when it's heavy rain because it's louder and you know, it's thicker. And crucially, heavy rain I think can only occur in the rainy season. So during those blue days on the calendar, and on a day of heavy rain, it can destroy your crops. So there are no typhoons in the game, but heavy rain in the rainy season can destroy crops. It's not that likely, but it can happen, and it can cause resets, particularly in cake contests. There's a few endings where you require kind of a lot of money, and as you can see, you start with 100 gold, which is not very much, and the endings where you need money, you need like maybe as much as 4,500, which is quite a lot, obviously. And yeah, making money in this game is not the easiest. Thankfully, you don't really need money for a lot of things. But okay, so we'll explore the other side of the map now. Now, I'll get into the affection maybe in a different, I don't know how I'm going to split this up. Let's think about, well, whatever. This will just be basics. Well, maybe I'll do a separate one with affection. We'll get into that later. Okay, so immediately on your left, tool shop. This is Lewis's tool shop. This is Lewis's house. Lewis comes out at about 7 a.m. Actually, he'll come out. Is it? No, today's Wednesday. Today's Wednesday, so he's closed. This is closed on Wednesday, Saturday. Yep. So tool shop closed Wednesday, Saturday. Lila lives here. You can go in here. I have actually, I think I've only been in here a couple times. I don't even know what it looks like. So that's her kind of adjoining house. This is the flower shop, so this is where you'll buy seeds. You can sell various things to her. You can kind of, I'll make a paste with it, and I think it's actually in my bigger guide. But you can't sell every item at every shop, but there is some overlap. So for example, actually at Lila's, you can literally sell flowers. You can sell the Moondrop Dew. So she'll always start the day here, and then at about 8 o'clock, she'll start walking towards the door. But she'll start every day except Sunday. She will start watering her garden. Sunday she can also, but it's random. So yeah, so as you can see, so the screen, this screen has a different music. So what I pointed out earlier about cutscenes is not always true, but if the music is the same between two areas, it will always continue between areas even while you're loading, unless you get a cutscene. So in those cases, you know that you've got the cutscene because the music will stop. So that's, yeah, so it can be kind of dicey because you need to make sure that you trigger the cutscene, but of course if you skip it, then you don't see it. So you need to be able to tell that you triggered it. So when you're first starting, maybe you don't skip it right away. Maybe you let it, and that's what I did when I first started running. Is I would trigger I would make sure that I trigger the cutscene first and then skip it. It's not that much slower, but obviously once you know and once you've got the feel for it. But anyway, okay. So this screen is kind of Bob's screen. So Bob's shop is here. This is the brownie farm. And if you want to talk, of course, if you want to talk to any villagers separately from these interactions, or from like the shop interaction, then you need to go behind the counter and talk to them, of course. That goes for pretty much any shop, and you can always get behind the counter to talk to them. So yeah, so in order to buy things, I didn't point this out, but you can talk to him from across the counter because he has an option to give part-time work. But if you want to buy something, you need to press A or X, I guess, buy the little piece of paper. And so top is buy, bottom is sell, and you can buy fodder, chicken feed, miracle potion. This is animal medicine. Buy a cow, chicken. Yeah, and that's it. Okay, so animal medicine you can only have one of in your inventory at any given time because it's treated as a tool. I think. Pretty sure it's treated as a tool, but yeah, I think it is. But it can be very useful in the horse race ending, so I do use that as kind of a backup strat because because it's very slow to put your horse back inside when it's raining. Anyway, so yeah, so one thing here, I can kind of cover this maybe in the relevant ending, but you can do part-time work for Bob, and you get 50 gold per hour that you're out in his field. I think 50, I'm pretty sure it's 50. And then you also get more money for every interaction you have with his animal. So he has 5 horses and a cow. So every one that you brush or something like that, you get more money. It can be useful. I mean, it can be a way to make money. I've used it as a strat in the past, but crucially, you have to do part-time work in order to obtain the horse. Excuse me. So I'll cover that maybe another time. But yeah, so the top option there is do part-time work. Over here is his actual farm. So this is his field. There's really nothing here. On Thursdays, Tim will be standing here, and Bob will be in, because Thursday is the day that the Brownie Farm shop is closed, and Bob will be in here. In general, day off locations are will give you more of a boost with a character. And I'm going to get into the affection probably in a different video, but so that's his field. He has the 5 horses and the cow. And if I interact with them here, it's not going to do anything. So you have to be doing the part-time work. Where's the door? Okay, so that's that. The map is really not that big, but it took me a minute to like figure out where everything was, just kind of to get it in my brain. And then this is Bob's house. So Bob's house. This is what? I have never gone in here. I don't know what's in there. Actually, you should check that out. This is Tim's room. Actually, well, this is both of their bedrooms, but sometimes you can find Tim up here. Usually, because Tim starts every day running down that hill. So if you go straight when you wake up, you walk all the way up here. Tim will be usually right about. Wait, he'll be usually right about here. And so then, well, he'll be running towards this exit. And so then he walks all the way down he runs all the way down to Ronald's, and then when he turns back up, then I believe he goes back into the house and you can talk to him there. You go through this gate. This is the villa. This is the farthest that you'll ever have to go from your farm, so this is very slow to get up here. This is a place you can do some foraging. There's flowers here, and there's berries here. And then when fall happens, when fall starts, and maybe even summer, I can't remember because it varies from location to location. I believe it's fall. It's definitely fall. You can get cranberries up here. So Gina will start every day except Wednesday and Saturday. She will start up here. She'll be standing right here. This is Dia. She is needed to befriend for the treasure hunt ending, for one of the treasure hunt endings. You don't intend to have to go really in the villa very much. Martha will be in here. This is the kitchen. Gina will sometimes be right here. Again, so I need to document the schedules a little bit better, but I have some of it documented, and I do have a pace, so I will include that in the description as well. If you want to sell anything here, I didn't know this for a while. This little piece of paper, you can talk here. You can buy things, and then I'm pretty sure you can sell. Yeah, I think it's certain times a day you can sell, because you can definitely sell here. So it must be different time. Oh, I didn't even know that. Wow. So yeah, so you don't talk to Martha, you talk to this. You can buy these things. So wow, really? Wait, no, is this just selling? You know what? This is just selling. Yeah, you can't buy anything here. What am I talking about? Okay, this is kind of a weird. So this is an automatically sell menu. Fair enough. So egg. Yeah, so you can see all the things you can sell. You can sell your crops here, which is crucial. Cheese. These are various items. You can get yogurt. Let's see. Yeah, it says right now you don't have any. Yeah, exactly. So you would sell. Why would you sell yogurt here? You can only buy yogurt. Actually, you can make yogurt in the kitchen, yeah. And then you can sell fish here, and it looks like herbs. Okay, interesting. So kind of cooking items. This is the living room. Sometimes Gina will be here, various times. You don't really have to come in here. There's a TV. But the main place that you'll be going when you do come in this building is Dia's room, which is right here. There is a door at the end of the hallway. I don't think you can ever go in here. Does it say food item? Private room. Can't go in. Okay. I would guess you might be able to get in there if you befriend the three of these girls. Anyway, so this is Dia's room. In the morning, she will be sitting right here. Now, this is really annoying, so I'll just point this out. Time, obviously, as in most Harvest Moon games, time stops in buildings. So, so when I enter, obviously time's not moving. Dia's room doesn't open until 8 a.m. So if you enter the villa at 7:59 and walk all the way up here, you'll find out that it's locked, and then you'll have to walk all the way back out in order to get time to move again to get to 8 a.m. So you kind of have to watch that. So that's a potential pitfall. But yeah, anyway, and then I think it's what time is this? Probably noon. Yeah, I think at noon is when Dia will walk outside. There is one ending where you need to walk inside the villa at a certain time for a cutscene. So the cue is that Dia walks outside. Okay, trying to think of some other basic stuff I can cover. That's really the map. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That there may be some other bases I cover in another video, but yeah. Oh yeah, here's one. So when you need to when you need to grow crops, they're right here. You don't need to, well, you do need to till, but it's actually, you don't need to do the, it's like A Wonderful Life. It's 1 seed per 1 tile. So, you know, it's, you know, it's 1 seed per 1 tile. And then, actually, crucially, this is where there's no mine, but there are a couple mining items. There's, you know, gold, there's copper ore, iron ore, no gold ore, but just various other, and then you can actually sell those for a decent amount of money, actually, in a couple cases. And also, Lewis likes those items, so you can just literally just, we'll see if I can get one. You can just repeatedly do this in any one square. It's actually pretty low odds. You can also dig up 10 gold at a time here. Not very useful, but yeah, it's very low odds. So a couple endings, you can use it. The thing, what's annoying is that you only start with 100 gold. So the seeds cost a fair bit more than that. So for the endings that you need money, for the endings that you need a lot of money, you're gonna be planting crops, mostly corn. And the fastest way to do it is, the fastest way to get the money for all the seeds is actually to dig up a rare metal, which is, as you might suspect, kind of rare. So anyway, so you can dig up, yeah, minerals there. So, okay, so I'm gonna wrap this up, and then I will do other videos. And I hope this answered some questions.